Good afternoon. I'm Tonya Arnesen, Senior Pastor of Jackson First United Methodist Church, and this is Food for Thought for Wednesday, August the 26th. First of all, I want to say thank you to so many of you who have sent me notes and let me know that you're praying for me and my family as we're trying to do the very hard work of getting my parents out of their home and into a place of safety and care. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you then also for your patience as I've not had time other than writing a sermon for each week to do much reflection and writing of my own during this crazy process. And so I'm sharing with you bits and pieces of things that I've come across in my devotional life, and I hope you'll enjoy them. I've gotten lots of comments as I've shared with you these parables from David Griebner's book, The Carpenter and the Unbuilder. And I would ask you to enjoy this story with me. It's a puzzling story, I got to tell you right up front. It's called Sheer Desire. And let's see what we make of it together. Sheer desire. One thing this story resonates with me is because I am a pastor in a large stone church in the city, and that's the setting for this story. One day in a large city, in a large stone church that was right downtown and open most of the time, a man went in and sat down in one of the pews. This was not unusual. Many people came in during the day to sit for a while in the holy space of the church. But this man stayed. He had been sitting there all day long when the minister decided she had better go talk to him. The man looked like anyone else who might wander in off the street to sit in the church for a few moments, with two minor exceptions. Next to him in the pew, he had a butterfly net and a knapsack. The minister felt a momentary sense of restraint, but spoke anyway. "May I help you?" she inquired. "Yes," replied the man. "I have come looking for something of God." The minister's uneasiness shifted a little bit in the direction of interest. Not everyone would name this kind of hunger to her. However, her joy passed quickly as the man continued, "And when I find something of God, I will snatch it up in my butterfly net and put it in my knapsack and pull the cord tight and have God always with me forever." The minister didn't want to discourage the man, but she couldn't exactly leave this statement unchallenged either. She spoke in her best and most gentle theological voice. "I don't think you can just scoop God up into a butterfly net or into a knapsack," she offered, not even wanting to comment on the forever side of the man's desire. "I know that," came the reply. "I didn't say I wanted to scoop God up in my butterfly net. I said I was looking for something of God that I could snatch up with my net and put in my knapsack and have God always with me forever." The minister was torn between trying to explain to the man that there wasn't much difference between the two and the feeling that anything of God in the church that the man could put into his net would likely be stealing when the matter was taken out of her hands. The man looked at his watch, picked up his net and knapsack, and left. However, the next day he was back, and he sat in the church the whole day again. The same thing happened for all the rest of the days that week and Sunday as well. Of course, the man was the center of some animated conversation. Many people came up to him and introduced themselves. Some withdrew to a safe distance when the man explained the purpose of his butterfly net and knapsack. But others sincerely tried to help and listen. Yet nothing seemed to change the man's stated intent. Over time, he became a kind of fixture in the church. The people greeted him warmly, and they began to appreciate his presence and to see themselves as his caretakers. The man never changed much, and never did much, and never said much. Occasionally he joined in the services. Often he just sat there. To everyone who ever asked him what he was about, he simply said, "I have come to find something of God, and when I do, I will snatch it up in my butterfly net and put it in my knapsack and pull the cord tight and have God with me always forever." So it went, until one day, as he was sitting there in the church, the man was overcome by a great drowsiness. He fell asleep in the pew for just a few moments. When he woke up, he immediately sensed that something was different. He quickly picked up his butterfly net. He was ready to pounce. However, when he looked at the net, he saw that while he was asleep, someone had cut the bottom out of it. He checked his knapsack. The bottom of it was gone too. Some others sitting nearby noticed the changes as well. They saw the man staring through the holes in the shorn net and the gutted knapsack. They were terrified for him. Someone went to get the minister. Others gathered around ready to offer their support because, as far as they knew, the net and knapsack made up most, if not all, of this man's life. As the minister came running, she was thinking about how quickly they might be able to replace the man's ruined equipment. Silently, they all gathered around. The minister was about to say something helpful and comforting when the man spoke first. With a huge grin, he repeated two words over and over. "At last," he said. "At last." What do you make of that? What do you make of that? I struggle. I guess, first of all, I would say that in some way, don't all of us have this yearning to find something of God and to wrap it up tightly and keep it to ourselves? And yet, there are so many ways that we experience God in our lives. And they're fleeting moments, and they don't last forever. Because somehow, I think that's the way God works. What is it about us that want to bind up the things of God and catch them and hold them for ourselves forever? I don't know. But one of the ways that I try to respond to that desire is to name it and recognize my need to experience something of God every single day, but then let go of that desire to keep it to myself, and instead recognize that the things of God are bottomless and eternal. They cannot be captured by human efforts or imagination, but rather we just simply let go and at last recognize that God is God, and we simply can enjoy God's goodness and grace and mercy and love and forgiveness and patience and kindness and the joy that we receive when we finally realize that He doesn't just belong to us. I hope to see you again next week. And in the meantime, please thank you for your prayers. Continue to be blessed, my friends. Continue to be well, and know that you are very much beloved. Amen.